What's up, everybody? Back for another Honkai Star Rail. I get this question quite a bit, so I figured I would kind of make somewhat of a video on this. This isn't going to be a full-on ranking, because that would take me a lot more time and a lot more research to really get the nitty-gritty of what is better than what, but I wanted to make a top 5 and an honorable mention best light cones you should be using, trying to get, or, straight just getting the currency to exchange for it, because there are some free light cones on this list. Yes, they are that good, right? I'm going to go over each light cone and why they are good as well. So let me know in the comments below, what light cones are you guys looking for? What do you think is the best light cone? And let's get on with the list. So first things first, this one should be absolutely no shocker to anybody. In a game where you want to clear as fast as possible to be able to get more jades, DDD is just by far the best light cone to get, right? Not only is it technically easy accessible, well, people debate this all the time that 4 stars are harder to get than 5 stars because you're guaranteed the 5 stars, right? But unless your luck is just straight up horrendous, when you summon on a light cone banner, you should probably end up getting the 3 light cones before you get a 5 star, right? That's just, generally from my experience, right? Obviously everyone's different, right? But there's been many years to summon on banners with DDD, plus it's in the standard shop, you can pull it randomly. Most people have at least one copy of DDD, and while one copy isn't the most amazing, once you get all 5 copies, it is an extremely good light cone. You can use it on any Harmony character, and most Harmony characters can make really good use of this. Ting Yun can use it very well. HMC can use it very well. Ron May can use it. Obviously, you have to hit certain thresholds with certain characters to really still get this, because you're not getting like break effect or speed or whatnot from this. But DDD is so absurdly good. People try to undersell it, but I'm telling you, in a game where you have to clear something quick, like, you're just getting, you just like, it's just such a good light cone, bro. I really don't understand why people say it's not as good as it is, right? Like, if it wasn't boosting the thing that makes you get more jades because you clear something faster, I'd be like, sure. Like, if it was giving like energy maybe or something like that, but the fact that it's the only light cone that does this should say a lot, right? Now, next up on the list, by the way, I had this open, but like, you guys know what DD does, bro. Next up, people are probably going to argue this, right? Is going to be Ciphers light cone, right? Now, Pearls was originally going to be on this, but Ciphers light cone is just a better version of Pearls, right? So if you don't know what Pearls does, pretty much it lowers the enemy's defense when you hit them. Ciphers light cone, on the other hand, will increase your speed by 18%, and then after wear using an attack, there's a 120% base chance to inflict Bamboozle, which lowers their defense, right? Then if the wear has more speed than which is 170 or higher, then you have a chance to inflict theft, which also lowers their defense. So not only are you getting a double defense lower, right, you're also getting speed, which most Nihility characters want anyway. So I just had to put it on the list. Cypher's Lycon is extremely good if you use, like, Pela can use it, Jiaoqiu can use it, Cypher herself obviously can use it. You can run it on Hell, you can run it on Luca, you can run it on Kafka. I actually have done that sometimes, right? You can literally just run it on every single Nihility character, besides like super specific ones, like Hycelan's probably doesn't want this. She probably just wants her own cone for more damage, right? But this light cone, it's just better pearls, had to go on the list, right? Next up is going to be a free light cone, which is pretty nice because it's free and it's very, very good. This one is good old Tutorial, which is right here. This light cone was so good. People were wondering if they're ever going to bring back event light cones, because this was the first event one and it was just so broken. So what this does is, it's another Nihility light cone. Increases the wearer's effect hit rate by, let me max it out because you actually have this one maxed out, 40% in the whenever you hit someone with their defense reduced, you get 8 energy. Not only is this helping pretty much all of the Nihility characters hit their effect hit rate requirements, this also giving you energy when you hit them when their defense is lowered, which shouldn't be too hard depending on who you're running, right? Obviously, if you're running Dot without like Black Swan or Cypher or something like that, it's going to be not possible to get this. But most of the time, if you're running a Nihility character, they're probably lowering defense in some way for the more generic teams, like you know, running it on Black Swan, or running it on Pela, or you're running it on Cipher, right? And the energy is very good. 8 energy, and it's just one of where attacks, defense, reduce enemies. It's not once per turn. It's not, you know, once per ultimate or anything. It's just whenever they attack a defense reduced enemy, you get 8 energy. Overall, this Lycone is extremely good just because of how well it synergizes with the effect hit rate and the energy. And like someone like Pela would really like this just because of the extra energy and the effect hit rate, right? It's just a good Lycone, bro. Lycones with speed or energy based stuff are just overall a lot better than most of the crit rate crit damage ones, right? They're just how the game is. Next up, funny enough that I mentioned speed, is another speed Lycone. Now, originally was going to have the Herda Shop one here. However, I wanted to give some love to Hyacine. It's Lycone because of how absurd it is. So what the Lycone does is it's for Remembrance, increases the wearer's speed by 18%. Then when the wearer uses by attack, skill, or ultimate, it will consume 1% of your all allies' current HP. And then when your member sprite attacks, you just deal more damage. Then when the wearer's member sprite uses their skill, increases the damage taken by all enemies by 18%, right? Now, while the HP drain might not be good on every single team, the fact that you, when using your Mammoth Strike skill, get increased damage for your whole team, and it is increasing your speed by 18%, which is something Roman's characters really want. Granted, I wouldn't be recommending people run this on like Aglaya or anything, right? But she still can technically use the speed part of this, right? Characters like Cyrene, RMC, Hyacine herself can use this to their full extent. You know, it's going to be a little jank with the HP drain stuff because it's obviously meant for Ika, right? But they can still use this and it still works, right? Overall, this is a very good Lycone, and I wanted to give it a proper, you know, place on here compared to the Herda Shop one, because the Herda Shop one is a flat speed increase, which is not nearly as much as the full-on 18% one. So I feel like I just might as well put Hyacinth here because it's just really good, right? It's just a good Lycone, right? Then on number 5, right? Now, number 5 had me thinking quite a bit of what I wanted to put, right? Now, originally, I was going to put the Bronya Lycone because a ton of characters have this as like their second, third, or like niche pick, right? It may not be the best Lycone for all Harmony characters, but a lot of Harmony characters still can use this if you don't have anything better. And I feel like considering this Lycone is technically a lot of characters best in slot, if I can find it, I'm actually blind. I'm gonna tie them, right? If a character's best Lycone isn't their own, more than likely it's either Sunday or Bronya as their second best, right? So, Grounded Ascent, right? After the wearer uses their skill ultimate on an ally character, you get 6 energy, and the ability target receives 1 stack of Heim, which increases the damage dealt. After 2 instances of a skill or ultimate, you get 1 skill point, right? So obviously characters such as Robin aren't going to be able to use this. They'd rather use the Bronya one. Characters who do target, like Sunday himself, Tingyun, Sparkle, this Lycone is insanely good. Plus, you also get skill points if your team needs it. Then, compared to Bronya's, which is just a normal energy regen by 10%, you also get a skill point when the wearer uses their ultimate ally. This effect can trigger every 2 uses of the wearer's ultimate. So depending on what characters you're using, this could be very helpful to get skill points. Not as much as Sundays, but this one is still very good. Then when the wearer uses their skill, the next ally taking action deals 30% more damage for 1 turn. This is useful on Sunday, Bronya, or Sparkle who action advance, right? You could technically speed tune this as well, so if you wanted to use it on Robin, you could skill, and then your DPS is the next character to attack, and they do more damage. Same with someone like Tingyun, where maybe you ult with her, and then skill, and then your speed tuning of your next character, you can, like, you know, ult and whatnot. But it's still pretty useful, right? Depending on who you're running, you either would run this or the Sunday Lycone if you do not have their best in slot one, whatever it may be, right? But yeah, no, it's just these 2 Lycones are so good. I'm still on the fence myself if I want to actually get Sunday's Lycone for Sunday, or I just want to rock Bronya's. But depending on who you're using, both of these cover both bases, so I'm gonna put them at the same tier, right? Then Last but not least, honorable mention is the Herder Shop Light Cone. For Remembrance characters, this will increase your speed by 12%, and then after the wearer uses a skill, increases damage dealt by all allies by 16%. This Light Cone is pretty good, not nearly as much speed as Hyacinth or even Cyrene's Light Cone, but having the skill increase your allies' damage is pretty good, so I figured I'd have it in honorable mention. Plus, this one is the free alternative that pretty much all Remembrance characters are going to be using, except for like Evernight and Castorus, right? So this one's pretty good. The reason I wanted to put Hyacinths in 4 is because not only does that Light Cone increase your speed more, it makes Hyacinth's damage a lot better, which she's the best sustained. So I feel like most people should be going for Hyacinth, right? Unless you're okay with like Donhang and then whoever your older sustain is, maybe you still use DPS Linksha or Gallagher or something like that, right? I feel like almost everybody should go for the Light Cone if they own a character, and considering choose the best sustain, like I just said. You know, it's almost a no-brainer, so I feel like I had to put it a bit higher, right? And as you're noticing, there is not a single DPS Light Cone on here. The reason for that is because there's a lot of the times where a good Light Cone, like let's say like Mide's, because you can use Mide's Light Cone on like Mide and Blade, they're very specific for certain characters, so I feel like there's not really a certain Light Cone you should get for a general use. There's a lot that are good for general use, but most of the time they're getting too niche, right? To where a character can't fully utilize it like they can some of the older Light Cones. Like, it's a lot easier to utilize someone like Jin Yun's or Zele's Light Cone compared to someone like Phaenon's, where it's like half his Light Cone effect only works for him. Like, granted, Phaenon's Light Cone is really, really good for Firefly because of the speed it gives, but Firefly is not using the ultimate one-turn stuff on it, right? So that's why I kind of wanted to exclude DPS Light Cones. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be it for the video. Let me know what you guys think of the list in the comments below. Which ones of these Light Cones do you have? Is there any that you're going to go for? And of course, I will catch y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.